Okay, here's what's going on. Facebook is now considered one of the most powerful companies in the world. It not only can move markets, but it can change entire governments. That's true. It's happening in Asia. It's been criticized, though, for losing control of its content. Well, it's got 2 billion users worldwide. Posts on Facebook have even led to violence in developing countries like Myanmar and Sri Lanka. That's been the accusation there. And also, Facebook's been slammed for being loaded with a lot of fake news and for censoring conservatives. People of Silicon Valley don't like. Here's the wrinkle. Here's what you got to watch out for. If you violate Facebook's new standards, you could be sued. You could lose legal immunity. That's the backstory there. Let's bring in my next guest. He had his account blocked over his conservative views. He's Fox News radio host Todd Starnes. So, Todd, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Are you happy with the new rules of Facebook?
Yeah, no, look, we have a phrase back home in Tennessee where I grew up, diddly squat. It doesn't mean diddly squat. And the reason why is that what Hillary said, the human factor. The problem is they've got a diversity problem at Facebook headquarters. They've got way too many liberals on staff. Until they start hiring people from, say, Liberty University and Turning Point USA, I think they're still going to have a big problem with conservative content, Christian content being blocked.
Here's Facebook Mark Zuckerberg. It's clear that he does not like President Trump. Here's Mark Zuckerberg.
I think rescinding DACA is a particularly cruel and difficult decision to make.
I hear fearful voices calling for building walls and distancing people they label as others. Instead of building walls, we can help people build bridges.
During Mark Zuckerberg's testimony for Congress earlier this month, he was grilled by Senator Ted Cruz about Facebook's political bias. Watch.
There are a great many Americans who I think are deeply concerned that Facebook and other tech companies are engaged in a pervasive pattern of bias and political censorship.
I understand where that concern is coming from because Facebook and the tech industry are located in Silicon Valley, which is an extremely left-leaning place. And this is actually a concern that I have and that I try to root out at the company, is making sure that we don't have any bias in the work that we do. And I think it is a fair concern.
What's your reaction to that?
Well, it is a fair concern, but what are they doing about it? That's the big question. And again, I went through some of the criteria that were they, on why is it that they blocked some content? There were two words: hate speech. Okay, well, what is hate speech? And who gets to define what hate speech is? You know, he was asked those questions on Capitol Hill. Mark Zuckerberg could not answer those questions. And to give you an example of how widespread this could be, just a couple of days ago, I did a story at foxnews.com about a public school that's banning the term best friends because it's not inclusive enough. Well, what happens if Facebook decides one day, you know what, we're going to put those words on the list because that might offend someone, that might hurt someone's feelings?
All right, so the reality check here is Facebook is a private company. It can decide to do whatever it wants on its own platform. The problem is how it's selling itself as a social media company. It's not really fully transparent when it's calling, we don't know who's calling the shots behind the scenes. It's just a social network, right?
Well, it's a little bit more than that. And look, I agree with you. I'm not paying Facebook's bills, so they can do whatever they want to do. I'm very thankful that they let people like me post my opinions there. But I think people need to understand, you know, realistically, Facebook is going to go after conservative content and Christian content. It doesn't matter if you're an evangelical or a Catholic. And the reason we know that is because we've documented that here at Fox News.
How bad is it? How bad is that trend? Is it growing?
It is growing.
How do you know that?
I know that because I get the email messages from people who have been blocked asking my help. We reach out to Facebook. We want to talk to a human being.
So Facebook really removes them from the site, or their posts from the site?
Facebook removes them or blocks their site. In some cases, some Catholic universities have actually taken out advertising. They've paid money, and Facebook has removed their advertisement because it's offensive.
Meaning a crucifix with Jesus on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Todd Starnes, we love having you on. Can you stay on the story? We're going to need you on it.
I'd be glad to.
You know, they make like they're do-gooders in the world, but if they're censoring conservative content, that's not fair and open speech,
You're
right?
absolutely right.
Todd Starnes, love having you on.